All right, let's talk finance. You've probably heard it's this super complicated thing, right? Something only for the experts. But what if that's just not true? Today, we're gonna flip that idea on its head. Forget the boring lectures. We're gonna treat finance and investing like what it really is, a game. A game with rules, with levels, and with strategies that, anyone can learn, and more importantly, win.
So yeah, what if finance was a game you could win? I mean, a game where you actually understand the board, you know what all the pieces do, and you've got the rulebook to make all the right moves. Sounds pretty good, right? Well, let's dive in and see how it all works.
Okay, so here's our level select screen for today. We're gonna start the game by building a business from scratch, then figure out how to keep score and level up into a full-blown empire. After that, we'll crack open the investor's playbook and map out a winning strategy. Let's get started.
All right, level 1. Every great game has a starting zone, right? For us, it's the classic lemonade stand. We're gonna build a business from the ground up, just to really get a handle on the absolute fundamentals.
So, let's imagine this. You have a brilliant, world-changing idea for a lemonade stand, but your pockets are empty, no cash. So your first quest, your first mission, is to raise some money to get this thing off the ground. The question is, how do you actually do that?
Well, you've basically got two main paths you can take here. Think of it like a fork in the road. Path number 1 is equity financing. That's where you sell a piece of your company, a slice of the pie, in exchange for cash. Path number 2 is debt financing. That's just borrowing money and promising to pay it back with a little extra, interest. The key difference here? With debt, you keep 100% of your company. And trust me, that can be a huge deal if your business really starts to take off. Okay, you've got the cash. Mission complete. But now, how do you keep track of your progress in this game? How do you know if you're winning or losing? Well, that's where financial statements come in. And honestly, just think of them as your business's character sheet, The page that shows all your stats, your strength, your health, in real time. So, the first stat screen we need to look at is the balance sheet. The name is pretty descriptive, actually. It's just a snapshot in time that shows everything your company owns, we call those assets, and everything it owes, which are its liabilities. And there's one golden rule for this screen. The two sides always have to balance out, no exceptions. So here's our starting balance sheet. On the left, in the assets column, we've got our $750 in cash. We also have something called goodwill for $1,000. Now that's just a fancy way of putting a number on the value of your amazing idea and the brand you're building. Then, on the other side, you can see the $250 we owe and the $1,500 that belongs to the shareholders. And look at that, it balances perfectly. See? $1,750 on both sides. Okay, now it's time to put that cash to work. We go out and spend $300 on a really nice stand, that's a fixed asset, and another $200 on lemons and sugar, which is our inventory. So you'll see our cash went down, but our total assets are exactly the same. Why? Because we just swapped cash for physical stuff. And the balance sheet? Yep, still balances. So we hustled through our first year of business. And hey, we make $800 in sales. That's pretty awesome. But here's the reality check. After we pay for more supplies and the interest on our loan, our total expenses come out to $815. We actually lost $15. This right here, this is the first boss battle. A lot of businesses die right on this level. So what do? Do we just give up? No way! Of course not. This is where the game gets really interesting. It's time to level up. We're gonna take this tiny loss and turn it into a massive fortune. How? By playing the long game. So here's our 5-year strategy guide. The plan is simple but powerful. We are going to reinvest every single penny this business makes right back into growing it. We're not taking any profits home. We'll add another stand, then we'll slowly bump up our prices just a bit as our brand gets more popular, and we'll just get smarter and more efficient. So let's see what happens when we follow this plan. Okay, let's fast forward 5 years. We stuck to the plan. Check this out. The business is now pulling in a net profit of $1,500. Think about that. We went from losing money to making back the entire initial value of the company in 1 year. Now that is what I call a serious level up. And this just shows you the incredible power of that strategy. Remember that first investor? The one who gave us $500 for a piece of the company? Well, that $1,500 in profit means they just got a 100% return on their investment in a single year. That's not just a win, that's a home run.
Okay, so up to this point, we've been playing as the founder, the person with the idea. Let's switch characters. Let's change our perspective. Now, we're the investor. We're the one with the cash. So it's time to open up the investor's playbook and choose our player class. Where do we put our money to work?
You've got 2 basic classes to choose from. First, you can be the debt investor. Think of this as the tank class. Safe, steady, pretty low risk. Your reward is capped at that 10% interest, but here's the key. You get paid back first if the business goes under. Then there's the equity investor. This is your high-risk, high-reward class. Your potential return is literally unlimited, but you could also lose every penny. And the crucial rule of the game, something you have to remember, is that high risk must come with the potential for a much, much higher reward.
Now, it doesn't matter which class you pick. The ultimate power-up, the secret weapon in this entire game, is something called compound interest. Even Einstein was a huge fan, calling it one of the most powerful forces in the universe. It's simply what happens when your money starts making its own money. It starts off slow, I'll admit, but over time, the effect is nothing short of magical. Just how powerful is it? Let me show you. Let's say you invest just $10,000 when you're 22, and you manage to get a decent 10% return each year. By the time you're 65, ready to retire, that single $10,000 investment will have grown to $600,000. And that's without you adding another single penny. That's the magic right there.
But hold on, watch this. What if you could do just a little bit better? What if you could find an investment that gets you 15% a year, just 5% more? That same $10,000 doesn't just grow a little bit more, it absolutely explodes. It becomes $4 million. Let that sink in. That small difference in your annual return makes a life-altering, world-changing difference over the long run.
So the big question is, how do you find those higher returns? How do you actually win this game? Well, let's look at the winning strategy, and we'll even get some pro tips from the absolute masters of the game.
And you have to start with the master himself, Warren Buffett. He gave us the two most important rules, and they're incredibly simple. Rule number 1, never lose money. And rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. See, avoiding those big, catastrophic losses is actually more important than chasing huge wins. A major loss can set you back for years, and it completely shatters that magic of compounding we just talked about. Okay, so here it is, your final strategy guide, your cheat sheet for the game. First, start as early as you possibly can. Time is the fuel for compounding. Second, only invest in businesses that you can easily understand. If it's too complicated, just stay away. Third, look for companies that don't have a lot of debt. They're just safer bets. Fourth, find businesses that have some kind of unique advantage, like a powerful brand or a one-of-a-kind product that keeps competitors away. And finally, play the long game. Think about investing in companies you could see yourself owning forever.
So there you have it. We went from a simple little lemonade stand all the way to the core principles for building real long-term wealth. You see, this game, it isn't as mysterious or complicated as people make it out to be. It has rules, it has strategies, and there is a clear path to winning. You now have the rulebook, so the only question left is, how are you going to play?